Up, everybody? Thanks for joining and welcome to episode 8 of Corks and Crypto. We've got
Cool.
making poor decisions in the building tonight. What's going on, man? How you doing?
What's going on, Mella? How you doing, man?
Hey, man, I'm chilling. How about yourself?
Good. 2 whole months, huh?
Yeah, 2 whole months, man. 2 whole months, and maybe many more. Hopefully, many more to go. Now, I see we have I love peanut butter and crypto out in the building out there. Appreciate you for being out in the comments, but I thought you were supposed to be in here with us today. If you want to join us, you have the link in your DM in Discord, but that's completely up to you. No pressure. But yeah, all is well. So thanks everyone for joining. And before we've got a full agenda tonight. We got a lot going on. Of course, you probably are aware. I hope that you are aware that Brian had an AMA this morning, and it was just phenomenal AMA. So we're going to talk about that. Also, I do want to talk about a few community announcements and some other things. But before we get into that, I'm going to hand it over to Making Poor Decisions, and we're going to talk about our wine selection for the week. So Making Poor Decisions, what do we have tonight?
Well, tonight we got O.P.P. Pinot Noir.
O.P.P.
Yep. Similar to the song, but not quite. It stands for Other People's Pinot. And it is out of Willamette Valley, Oregon.
Awesome.
Right?
Awesome. Now,
Right.
I did have a banner put up, and I accidentally deleted it. So I'm going to try to make that real quick in the background while you talk us through this Pinot Noir.
All right. So, again, it's out of Willamette Valley, Oregon. It is a 2021 vintage. And for people that don't know, Oregon is like our third top producing wine state in the U.S. That valley is about southeast of Portland, Oregon. You have many wineries out there, and that's one of the top producers of Pinot Noirs. This particular Pinot Noir is a earthy, spicy Pinot Noir on your palate. You will catch some flavors of cherry in that, but it is pretty earthy. So you'll get a little spice on that. On the nose, you'll catch some floral scents on your nose as well. And this wine can either be enjoyed alone, or you can pair it with beef, steaks, venison, and even veal. So again, O.P.P. Pinot Noir. Cheers.
Awesome. So with O.P.P, so let's educate us neophytes into in the wine game.
Mhm.
So is this a wine that you would recommend someone that is new to wine, or is this more for those that have some experience, or does it even matter?
Well, it really doesn't matter, but for people who are getting into wines, or let's just say you're drinking sweet wines, right? And you want to venture over to the reds. Pinot Noirs are light to medium body red wines, so it's not overwhelming. You can easily transition over into that, sort of like blends. So it's not bold like a cab, right? It won't overwhelm you. So yes, Pinot Noirs are definitely a varietal that you can venture into if you're coming into wine.
Oh, awesome. And what vintage? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Were you saying something else?
Vintage is 2021.
2021. Okay, I just want to make sure we got that, and I didn't put that in the banner. But folks, if you're looking at this wine, it is vintage 2021.
And you got Pinot Gris. It's Pinot Grigio. I mean Pinot Noir, not Gris. Gris is the white.
I got the wrong one.
Yeah.
See, I told y'all I'm not as well educated as making poor decisions. So that's why he's here to keep me honest. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, but he does have the O.P.P. Pinot Gris. So that
So
is
the link that I put in the chat, if you can see that, is that the wrong link as well?
yeah, that's the wrong
Oh
link.
man, so
The
I'm just
Pinot
guiding you
Gris.
guys all in the wrong direction. So I will
Hold on,
try to
let me
correct
check.
that.
Let me check. Let me go in the comments. So the one that I see, yeah, that's Pinot Gris. That's the wrong one.
That's Pinot Gris. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got it. I've got the Pinot Noir. Yeah. And I should know better because I think I've seen this. I know I've seen this bottle before.
Oh yeah, we have it in our wine lounge, Distinctive Vines, in the Cedars District in downtown Dallas.
Yep. So this is the correct link, folks, that I am adding to the banner here. So that is the correct link, and I'm going to put it in the chat as well. Cool. Oh, and it looks like we do have I love peanut butter. So let me add him to the stream. What's going on, man? We can't hear you. Are you on? You're on mute.
There you go. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Hey, appreciate you coming out.
You just say downtown Dallas?
Yeah, right across the canyon, across from the convention center, right behind the Lorenzo Hotel.
Wow. So you're close to it, huh?
Yeah, right there on Ackerd.
So I'm in Fort Worth.
Oh, okay. So you're right up the way.
We're neighbors.
Yeah, come on through.
Yeah, come on through. Come on. And you know what? I'm thinking of trying to do something around Vulcan at our bar once it goes live.
Be nice, yeah.
So hey man, you're more than welcome to come and join us. We'd love to have you.
I'm a big wine guy, but I don't mind vodka.
Or
bourbon. You know what? We may make it a private event, and that way we can have what we want, right?
That's right.
Water, just water, right?
There you go. And we've got Chris Cruz in the building, y'all. What's going on, Chris?
What's going on?
What's up, guys? I had to come on, and I had to. The Melbach, is that right? That we talked about last week.
Yeah.
We went to a restaurant, had steak, and I asked for that. They did not have it, but I looked like I knew what I was talking about. So
big baller, right?
Yeah. They were like, "What did you just say?"
Yeah. They should have had some sort of mile back there.
Yeah, they did, but it wasn't the. It was the Balboa, Susanna Balboa, I think is what we were talking about. Yeah,
right.
They didn't have that, but they had a. Oh my god! I was like, yeah, it was good though. I actually enjoyed it. It was really good with the steak. I was like, this is nice.
Yeah. Pairings is fun with wine. So I always tell everyone when you go out to eat, just try it. You'd be surprised how it changes the flavor of the wine as well as the food. So
yeah, I think that's what I was doing in the past. I think that maybe I was eating something and I was like, yeah, I'll take some wine and just whatever. And it wasn't, I wasn't pairing it right. And I was like, oh, dude, I'm not drinking wine again. It was a good experience. You've educated me and I appreciate that because it worked out well for me.
I'm glad you enjoyed.
Yeah, I think I was like, I gotta make sure I mention that to making poor decisions. I was like, this is working for me. And if anybody's out there, listen to him.
There you go. Yeah, the guy definitely knows his stuff. Trust me.
Okay, so what are we talking about this one now? I missed this. I'm sorry, I missed this.
Oh, no problem at all. Well, you know what? You didn't miss. You missed his intro. Don't pay attention to the previous links I posted because they were all wrong. So I put the correct link here. This is for O.P.P. Pinot Noir, and I will let Making Poor Decisions give you the Cliff Notes version.
Yeah, just high level. It's out of Oregon, Willamette Valley, Oregon, which is known to produce good Pinot Noirs. And with this one, you get a little spice on your palate with this one, a little floral nose when you smell it. and this one goes good with like veal, steaks, and venison. So it's a good drink, and also again you can drink it by itself because it has a nice little spice to it on the palate.
So they're saying on here it's like juggling apples, pears, and peaches while dancing to Farrell's "Happy." That's pretty
Well,
cool.
that's somebody's palate.
So, make your poor decisions. Have you ever drank 12 hands? My father-in-law used to drink a lot of 12 hands at once.
No, I haven't had 12 hands. No.
And he switched, but that when I used to go to Florida and visit, when I go to Florida and visit in the past, that was his drink for like a couple times, but now he's changed since then. So I was just wondering.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't tried
like he drank that, so I've never had it.
Cool. So let's get through a few comments and we'll get through the agenda for the night. So Biz opens up with welcome to VNN Vulcan News Network. Everyone, please at the person when chatting amongst yourselves to not get your host, me, confused when reading comments. Thank you. And yes, I am easily confused, especially when there's drinks involved. So please at the person as Biz is asking, and I appreciate you, Biz, for everything that you do. We've got John Kano, that's first. I love peanut butter is second, and he's on the panel with us and appreciate it. I love peanut butter. You have your channel set up now, right?
I got approved today by StreamYard, and I'm gonna try to figure something out. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I love peanut butter is going to be another one of our Vulcan YouTubers. So do like, share, and subscribe his content. So I love peanut butter is coming to a YouTube channel near you here soon. Likewise, we've got Chris Cruz, who's just killing it.
Man,
Chris, you did like a 5 hour.
That was a long one.
You had a 5 hour plus live the other night.
The great part about it is that I
don't
even remember what we're talking about, but we just kept talking.
Yeah, and it's okay if you stream this on your channel. I had no problem with that at all.
Okay, I want to make sure of that, but at the same time, I'm like,
yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Not a problem. Not a problem. We're here to share the Vulcan love, so it's all good. We've got Crazy Diamond in the building as third. Jay Legend, man, he's saying it's cold in these crypto streets. You already know that, Jay Legend. You already know. Sky High, he's first by default. Man, Sky High is like the sheriff of Discord. I see Sky High putting people in their place on a daily. Appreciate you. Aris Disler, thanks for joining. We got King Kaching. Hi, everyone. Richard Hudman, good evening. Miss Worldwide, how are you, ma'am? Thank you for joining us. C. Titch is in the building. Thanks for joining. Making poor decisions. I think you should change your name to Making Decisions. There you go. But he makes a lot of decisions. We're not going to get into that. But he's the big man CEO. So, you know, that's what CEOs do. So, all right, we got OBZ just making a confirmation that wine very much complements food. We've got D. Jackson. I feel many projects will be there for Vulcan with Hyperverse relaunch as well as if the Pink Cell deal gets finalized with new project exposure for Vulcan through them. Yeah, we're going to get on. We're going to talk about that. And I thought I saw a comment about, I'm referring to it as an accelerator. Yeah, the DAP starter. Crazy Diamond mentions the DAP starter. We're going to talk about that too. And man, we've got Crypto Pride. You know, the greatest MC in DeFi. Says, damn, peanut butter, you could have used my stream, your referral link.
I'm looking forward to talking to Pride this week because I'm trying to look for some music for my YouTube, and I don't know. I do know that's his music that he made.
He used to rap. Yeah, he used to rap.
That's all Crypto Pride.
I don't know if he's got like a catalog or if he has an idea. Maybe he could help out or something. I don't know.
Throw some bars down just for you, man.
Yeah,
There you
well,
go.
I mean, that would be great. I'd have no problem paying him and everything like that, or whatever that process is. But I was looking for. I wanted to talk to him last week about it, but I thought, I mean, he had so much stuff going on, and I was like, I'm not going to interrupt him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he can make room. I'm sure he can make room. Sky High saying he's been busy today with his girl's 7th birthday. Happy birthday to the young lady there. And he missed everything. So I missed a lot too. I did catch the AMA. I was working, had some other things going on, but we're going to try to get you caught up. I know Chris and I Love Peanut Butter probably got some details to fill in that I may not be able to. So we're going to get into that. Slumdog Millionaire, don't forget Johnny Blockchain for arbitrage bot trading. I didn't even know Johnny Blockchain did that. I haven't studied Johnny Blockchain just yet, so that's on my list. I'm way behind on checking on those projects. I'm just getting into Cosmic Force. So once I complete that, then maybe I'll take a look at Johnny Blockchain. We've got the Greek DeFi guru saying hello all. What's up, Greek?
So Greek.
Jamrock's in the building. Boom. Well, Chris, there's your price. Crypto Pride is going to help you out, but there's the price.
Okay, well, I guess that's a non-starter.
That's right.
It's like I don't have that many followers, man. I can't afford stuff like that.
So, and speaking of, if you haven't already, do I think I mentioned I Love Peanut Butter before Chris as well. Like, share, subscribe to his channel, please. It's helping us all out. You don't know who these guys have a reach to, and just one extra person reaching out to one other person is that much that much better for all of us in the blockchain and what we're trying to achieve in Vulcan. So do subscribe and share these gentlemen's content.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
So OBZ, you say OBZ is giving you a name.
Yeah.
Kairos Chris.
Hey, Benzies 25. What's up, Benzies? And the Greek is making an offer here. So we've got arbitrage real time right here. We're arbitraging on music for Chris Cruz.
Heck yeah. I'm liking this.
There you go.
They're bidding for you, man.
Oh, so, yeah. Mark Hitler has got a question for Greek. Will you do it for Esgo? So, yeah, you got a bidding war. You got a bidding war going on.
Clients.
That's what's up. That's cool. So, I want to get into a couple of community announcements. Of course, Hendrick, I believe, is still dealing with his medical situation. So I don't know if Biz is out there. And if you are Biz, if you wouldn't mind sharing the link, anything that you can provide to assist Hendrick in his situation. Also, Asa and, what unfortunately occurred to him a couple of weeks back in getting caught up into a scammy situation. Either of those guys, anything that you can do to help support is appreciated. Also, we've got the Prado's birthversary, I believe, occurred within the last few days, if not last week. So I think there was the Prado's wedding anniversary. I think it was year 2, if I got that right. And it was Mrs. Worldwide's birthday as well. So congratulations and happy birthday to you, Miss Worldwide. Fowler. Okay, I'm being told I got a little bit of an echo. Let me see if I can fix that. Is that better? Am I still echoing? Okay. Hopefully that's better. Thanks, Benzies. I know Fowler is, I thought he was going to be on tonight, but Fowler is really, really close to getting 1,000 subs, y'all. So please do what you can to get him over the hump. He does a lot for the community. So I wanted to make sure we get that out there to you all. So if you're not part of his channel, I'm pretty sure you are. If you're not part of his channel, please join his channel and also, share his content. He does a really great job with his Fowler's Crypto Talk every day at 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern. So do support him as well. Put it out there on your socials for those that are active. Even if you're not active, just put it out there. I'm not a big Twitter guy, but I throw it out there when I can. So I'm asking you all to do the same. So that's about it on the community announcements. And also I
on
want to
Fowler's though,
format that I'm looking to start doing. So we're going to have a lot more YouTubers coming on, and that is fantastic. We can not get enough of Vulcan and the Vulcan blockchain. However, on my channel, I want to try to create a space where it is welcoming for any and everyone, and especially for those that are new to crypto and new to Vulcan, so we can have a open conversation, no dumb questions kind of thing, and make it welcoming for our new joiners. So if you know of someone that is new to crypto, or someone that you would like to talk to crypto about, or bring into a fold to have a conversation about crypto, I would request that you add them to this channel, or at least recommend them watch this channel and watch this show in particular. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm working on some things in the background to bring some more content to Corks and Crypto in that regard. So look forward to that.
Mela, I wanted to go back on Fowler. They added Gods of Gaming to the project list on Vulcan.
What was that, Chris? I could not hear you. Let me turn this back up.
On Fowler, we were talking about Fowler, and this week, yesterday, they added Gods of Gaming to the list of projects.
Yes, they did.
What's that number of projects now? Is it 13 now?
11 that I have.
Yeah, 11.
Unless there's some that are in the process, but the website right now shows 11. Fowler's Gods of Gaming is the 11th.
Yeah, it's 11. And go out there and vote for, if you haven't already, go and vote for those projects that you support. So that's out there too. So I want to talk about the AMA. So Chris, what did you think about the AMA today?
Well, I think that my thoughts on it were that Nick is just fantastic. He's such a good guy. It feels like you're just hanging out, having a conversation with him. He talked at the beginning. He talked a little bit over my head, and I was, deer in headlights. And then he brought it around and I started really understanding what he was saying. He's got a good personality, and it just quite enjoyable. And the information that I thought it was really, really good, because I saw a lot of comments where people were talking about the rebasing being a smart contract. And there was quite a few comments like that. And then Brian kind of stopped it and, kind of went with Nick to clarify it. And then Nick clarified it. And it was like, that's the kind of AMA that I like, is that, they're telling us a lot of information and doing some great things. They're listening to the community while it's happening, and you get the answer there. So it wasn't like, oh, we didn't answer that, and then you got, a couple of days in Discord or socials to clarify, but it was clarified right there. I think the answer was, I think a lot of people were happy with it. And I think there's a lot of information that they were talking about. I kind of felt like the announcement would have something to do with Gamma. I'm glad that I'm just super glad the whole way it went, and I'm super excited for the whole community as a whole, because I think everybody, the passive investor, the ones that follow the influencers and stuff, they know a little bit, but everybody can get excited about this. And I mean, I let it process for a little bit, and halfway through the day, I was like, yeah, I'm still feeling the same way. After I watched, I was super pumped, and I'm still pumped. I think it's great. I think I can't say enough out of it. You had the tech people got a lot of information out of it. The average investor and the newbies, we all got stuff out of it. I was very happy with it. I kind of wish it would have gone a little bit longer, but I'm not sure if Brian had to run off and get a shower and come up with a new acronym or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he's been pretty active the last few days. It's a lot to keep up with. OBZ is saying here that Nick looked very happy and in control of what is happening with his role on our blockchain. I mean, yeah, I mean, he was really engaged, seemed very excited about it, went over and I was really paying attention to how he was going over the code that he showed us and the way in the detail that he explained it. And he explained it in such an easy but detailed way. It shows that he's engaged. He's helping to build that code if he's not writing it himself.
Yeah, and he was nonchalant about it too. And that you're sitting there and he's just like he's like you're sitting at the desk with him and he's just explaining it to you like it's one-on-one. That's the way I felt about it. I thought his presence was great, the way he talked about it. And I'm really looking forward to Daniel's his live that he's doing tomorrow at noon Eastern time for Greek out there, so that so I don't get Daniel upset. But anyway, yeah, Daniel, I'm really looking forward to that because that's a conversation where you have somebody that Daniel speaks to the camera like he's talking directly to you, and then you got Nick over there that speaks to the camera. Well, he didn't the AMA today. I'm assuming he's like that all the time, but then he's going to be speaking to the camera. And I think you got two people that are going to sit there and just like you're hanging out, and it's a personal thing to me. That's what I think it was.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's a great communicator, and that's kind of rare for a developer.
Especially their intelligence and stuff like that, they can easily lose a person like me because I'm like, you are definitely way smarter than I am, and I have no idea what you're talking about. But
I mean, communication though, for most developers, at least in my experience, communication is not a strong suit for most developers. And Nick did a fantastic job. Sky High is asking, I know Sky High, you weren't able to join the AMA, probably hadn't been able to listen to it, but yes, they did say Gamma is going to be in 2 weeks. If you go and look at Vulcan Trace, you'll see that Vulcan Trace does have successful rebasing. So it looks like the rebasing thing is working out well. And so, they've got a couple of things to tweak, and in about 2 weeks is when Gamma is expected to launch. And Miss Worldwide is just confirming that, yes, Nick will be doing an AMA on Daniel Prado's live tomorrow afternoon. And Greek is making sure everyone understands that that's 11 Central Standard Time.
Mrs. Worldwide changed name to Queen Worldwide when she's in that throne like that. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
It looks like she's on our throne. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yep. Nick is an amazing guy. Very, very smart. Jason's in the building. What's up? And there's another comment about Nick being a smart man. Yes, he is. And I got a new subscriber, Benzies25. Thanks, Benzies, for joining. And make sure you subscribe to I Love Peanut Butter and Chris Cruz as well. Appreciate that. All right. So there was one thing that I missed in the AMA. I don't know if you are a node holder or not, Sky High, but it looks like we're going to need to start getting prepared. Those of us who have full nodes, we're going to need to start getting prepared for that KYC process. You need to have your wallet situation taken care of. If you're using a wallet, you have to use a wallet, but it is recommended that you use a cold wallet, but you'll need to have that cold wallet identified. And I believe you're going to need to have approximately 300. I don't know if it's 285, 295, but approximately 300 in USDC on the Binance Smart Chain BEP.8 ready to go to pay for the KYC process. And once you go through that, we're going to be issued an NFT that is going to be on or placed on the wallet that will be provided. And from there, we're off to the races. So I do look forward to that KYC process. Oh man, we've got Kryptonian in the building. Bro, I've got a question for you. If you don't mind, I'm not here to put you on blast. That's not how I roll. But I recall you making a comment about Vulcan and the rebasing the blockchain being very similar to other blockchains. So I want to know, after the AMA today, do you feel the same way? I don't know if you heard that question, but I'll repeat it.
Yeah,
And that is, I swear I heard you a couple of weeks ago or so make a comment, and I could be mistaken, but I thought I heard a comment from you that at one point in time you felt that the Vulcan blockchain, was really no different than any other blockchain when it comes to the rebase. So wanted to know if what Nick went over today changed your opinion on that. So just wanted to know, because I know you and NR Legend are building that level or layer 0 blockchain in Prism. So you know this space way better than I do. I'm just looking to get an understanding of what your thoughts were on that AMA. So I would definitely appreciate a response. You can either ping me in the background or come on stage if you like, whichever, doesn't matter. But I appreciate that. And Biz, thank you for confirming. So that is 289 USDC BEP20. So we will need that to get the ball rolling. Oh, and Sky High just confirmed that. Yeah, he didn't need to run one. He just wanted to. Vulcan is good on its own, and but Brian is giving so much more. Yeah, he is and has. So, did you guys buy some of that Safe Food dip today? Chris, did you get in on that?
Oh yeah, definitely. I actually did it on Odie's live. I was messing with a lot of stuff, didn't have the camera on, and then once I finished, I went on with the camera. So
yeah, I bought back in. I sold some initial to get some profit. I did some profit taking about a week or so ago. But with that dip, I decided, hey, I think I'm going to buy back in, especially with the news. I made that sale before we got the most recent news that Esgo is going to be starting out at $1.50.
right.
So, that
Nice.
should put Safe Food at or around $1.50, right? So I thought, hey, might as well just buy in right now. And
did you see the chart that they put up in the Discord about the arbitrage?
yeah, let me see if I can pull that up.
I mean, I'm a visual person, and
can you share that? Or are you able to share that on your side?
I can pull it up.
Yeah, if you don't mind. And speaking of arbitrage, there's another YouTuber, Gia Legend, GIA Legend.
He just did a video on that.
And he's going over arbitrage, and it was pretty good.
Yeah, that video, I watched that video, and I actually paused it and went back a little bit to get it. It's an excellent video. That chart is like you just look at the chart, but I would highly recommend that video to everybody. That is an excellent video, and he's I was actually taking notes during that video. Usually I'm just watching, but I was like, wait, let me stop this, write this down.
Yeah. I mean, it was a really good video, and I'm in the process. I'm going to go back and rewatch it, and do some note taking of my own. But it was a really good presentation for arbitrage. The triangular arbitrage. I'll put it that way, because that was the thing that kind of tripped me up, was the triangular aspect.
I missed the dip. I was working.
No, I was working too, but I was trying to multitask.
I cut hair for a living, so it's hard it's hard to swing trade or day trade when you're coloring hair and cutting hair,
Oh yeah.
You imagine, like, I'm fading you up and I go, hey, hold on a second, I gotta stop,
Yeah, I get that. So, all right, and we've got Confirmant. What's up, man? How's it going? Now, I still need to get with you, dude, so I can start cranking these articles out. There's so much going on, a lot to write about these days. But yeah, so we've got the triangular arbitrage earning pathways. So, Chris, can you walk us through this?
basically on the chart, it's pretty simple. So the arbitrage starting with Seifu. So the arbitrage starting with Seifu, you're buying like 100 Seifu with 104. Are you buying 100 Seifu Go with 114 Seifu? And then as you come down here and you see under here, so then you're buying 0.6 B&B with 100 Seifu Go, $3 Seifu Go B&B pairing. And then over here it goes back up to selling 0.6 B&B for 188 Seifu. So, and then on the Seifu Go side, it's kind of the same. It's the same breakdown as it goes this way, all the way around. And it basically it's a triangular arbitrage that gives you an understanding and a visual representation of what could be happening. So, I mean, I think that was one of the things when it first came up to me. I was like, oh, wait a minute. And so I started looking at it and I was like, okay, this explains a little bit more. But like I said, that video from Gia Legend was spectacular, and that gives you a whole lot more detail, I think.
Yeah, it does. He goes really deep, and Biz did put the link in the comment section. So if you haven't checked this out already, do that, and also subscribe to Gia's channel too. There's a lot of good content. I didn't know he was a YouTuber. I was researching arbitrage, and sure enough, his video popped up. So I was all over it.
Yeah, and if you look at his library of videos, he's got some good stuff out there.
Yeah. So so Kryptonian did respond. He's like, great question. The demo Nick gave today was informative, not as technical as he liked. He did ask to see under the hood, and they popped the trunk. That's funny. So he comes back with he still needs more information before he's satisfied with the rebasing protocol. So he's sure on May 1st with Nick, he'll get more information and get to see under the hood. So that's cool. That's cool. So yeah, I thank you for confirming. I was wondering if I was going crazy. Did I imagine this? But yeah, I appreciate that, Kryptonian. Thanks for that. And we've got Commander 605. It's good to be with you tonight. Lots of exciting things happening in the Vol ecosystem. Man, you've got that right. You can say that again. This is there's a lot going on. Just too much to keep up with. I know Chris, was that today? I don't even remember. Like the days are starting to kind of blend in. You were, I think it was yesterday. You were on Daniel's channel.
Yeah, that
Brian
was
on. You're like, Brian, can you just kind of slow down a little bit?
Yeah, that was a complete shocker. I thought Daniel was going live and got the link, and I just went on like normal, and I thought he was starting at a certain time, so I thought it was early. And I pop in there, and there's Brian, and I'm like, hey, hey, and I don't want that I don't want it to come across like I want him really to slow down, because I'd like to see the block. I want launch now, all that stuff and everything, and but it was like I was out of pocket most of Saturday, got into a little bit, and then we were just goofing off on my live Sunday night that, and so many things going on that I was like, I didn't have enough time to catch up with all the things that there's so many messages when I was like, come on, I can't catch up. And then Daniel's like, well, I'm sure you got a question. I'm like, look, I don't want to be ignorant about this, but I haven't really got caught up yet. But
yeah, I'm like, it's I'm sure there's something going on in Discord right now that that's that much more information that we need to catch up on. So Confirmant and Greek are having a yelling match in the comment section, and Confirmant is asking why are they yelling, and Greek is saying because they're so excited and bullish. And Confirmant comes back with, don't tell him what to do. So there's some exciting times going into the comment section today too. So it's excitement all around. Charles DYOR, do your own research. Outstanding AMA this morning. Nick is brilliant and enthusiastic. Great part of the team. Super bullish information. Yeah, that is so. That is so. I mean, I did not know what to expect, and and it wasn't exactly because I was thinking, kind of hoping that Gamma would be announced today, and it kind of was, right? It's going to be officially announced in a couple of weeks, but that's still good news. But I was expecting Gamma to just be starting today, but I'll take 2 weeks. That's good. It was good to see the code, and I think for the lay people like myself, when it comes to coding, it was good enough for me to see the engagement that Nick had and his just familiarity with the code. I was really, really excited to see that.
Well, I think as I thought back over it, as I had processed everything today, I think we should have seen this coming. Not this day or whatever, but we should have seen that Brian's not going to be like Gamma's here right now. Brian's going to tell you like a little bit ahead, and he's going to start marketing it. He's going to start pumping it up. So this is exactly the way Brian has always been. He's going to give us a date, and it's going to be, you're going to see all this stuff coming out, and all the influencers and Discords, everything going to be pumping up the countdown to Gamma and all that. So yeah, I mean, we should have expected that once he actually had some type of realistic type date, that he would get out there a little bit early and start pumping it up. So I was thinking that too. I was thinking Gamma they're gonna be like, Gamma's here, and then as I was through the day, I was like, no, Brian does this so he can generate activity and stuff like that.
It's
Yeah.
pregame for Brian, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. And it looks like we're still on schedule for Q2 as well,
It
just
does.
based on what we're seeing and hearing today. So it looks like Confirmant is not going to be getting a Lambo. Says it just isn't practical. Not that he couldn't afford it. It's just
It's
not
not
practical.
practical. Yeah, it's not practical. I couldn't even drive down my street if I had a Lambo, man. We have speed humps covered by the school.
Uh-huh.
He went to the front, we lifted up with that button. I still wouldn't be able to get down my own street. So I'll get a pickup truck. That's all good.
Hey, that's what we do in Texas, right?
Yeah. My 87 Chevy Suburban, dude. I'm rocking that thing out hardcore.
You said 87?
Yeah.
That's
But
nice.
I put a 70s front end on it, so I got the big old round headlights
Uh-huh.
versus those square by square ones. Put the round 70 front end on it. Looks real sweet.
Nice. That's cool. So yeah, Sky High saying y'all hit that like button and show some support. Yeah, we appreciate it. Kryptonian is bullish for the hackathon. Man, that hackathon situation with I keep referring to it as an accelerator, but the fact that a project could get their code base loaded, what was it, like 90 seconds?
Yeah.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, and that my thing was like, okay, now with all the other information that I'm going over and the projects, all that stuff, why can't Chris put out a token, and then why can't I do some of this? I was like, wait a minute, 90 seconds, seriously? An idiot like me doing it?
Yeah, well, I mean, and they, Nick did say though, right? If there's questions, because I have a project idea, I got a couple of project ideas actually, and I was reaching out to some folks in the community in the background, and getting a lot of help, and I'm likely going to be reaching out to Decentology too, and seeing what they can do to help me get this thing off the ground. I've got a couple of NFT ideas that I want to get launched. Yes, thanks, Biz. It's Dap Starter. I don't know why I can't remember that, but yeah, Dap Starter. And my understanding of Dap Starter is it's pretty much like a template where if you have an idea, you can input what it is that you want your project to do into this Dap Starter, and within 90 seconds, there you have it. So there may be a little bit more to it than that, but the way that it was described is kind of, what I just stated, how I took it. But, these AI products that are out there are getting smarter and smarter to the point where those things can create code snippets for you in different languages. Like I'm a part of the Google Bard, which I think anyone can now right now, but I'm part of the Google Bard, which is their like Chat GPT variant, if you will. And I got an email yesterday that a Bard can now help with some coding. I think he can do some testing and that kind of stuff in certain languages. So between Bard and DAppStarter, Chat GPT, who knows? Who knows what we can do? We could probably do more than what we think, Chris.
A couple of comments out there that I want to just clarify. There's nothing wrong with taking your time and not rushing things. and then I want to reach out to Sky High. I have a Suburban and I have a Silverado, and my Silverado is awesome. So I am with you on that comment. But I'm sorry I got off track, Mello. That just I had to,
No, you're good.
I had to defend myself on some comments.
Yeah, I saw that. So yeah, you and Kryptonian's got this thing going on, man.
He is, and you were talking about ideas. I'm gonna tell you right now. You see, NR and TCL and them, and Kryptonian. They are working on a layer 0 blockchain. We all know, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you couldn't imagine, with discussing things with them on a personal level and stuff, these guys have ideas for days. They have, and I think that they're behind the scenes hoping that Vulcan and other blockchains and stuff, they want to branch out everywhere. The things and the ideas that they have are just phenomenal. And that's just a couple of influencers. You go around to some of them, like what you were talking about. There are some really great people in the community, in Vulcan's community and close knit, that I could see a lot of people coming out with some ideas that, because my thing is I'm old school. It's like you go and you open your brick and mortar business and you start from the ground up, and that's the way I've done it and everything like that, and been very successful. And I just think about the opportunities that's some of the things I was thinking about after the AMA. There are tools that are being developed that the average person that we come across in the comments in our community, that they can bring these to market. They can bring these ideas and the innovation that they have. Because I know Kryptonian, I joke around with him, but you got to understand, I know him on a personal level, and he is super, super smart, and he's a stand-up person. I would,
yeah.
And you won't have to worry about rugs with someone like him. And a lot of people in our community, like the One Token. I mean, Oliver was he was doing that for the community and stuff. And I think that there's 100, maybe 500 people in our community that do the same thing. It's so exciting to see the future of what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, there's a ton of smart, talented people as part of this community, and that NR Legend Kryptonian bunch. I mean, I think they're gonna exceed Elon here soon.
Well, they do the same thing that Nick does to me, and I'm like, just you're losing me, because they're just like all this tech stuff, and I'm like, but then they bring it back with moon landing and stuff like that, and I'm like, all right, now you're talking my language.
Never happened. Never happened.
Yeah, they're super smart, and that's just a couple people, and then there's other people in the community, and you have a lot of people that are just supporters and stuff that I think that maybe they'll be sitting at home and maybe cooking dinner or something and saying, you know what, with all these things that came out, I really like this idea, been thinking about it for a long time. Maybe I'll start something, bring it to market. So I'm super, super excited for that.
Yeah. Yep. And Kryptonian corrected me. He said the DAppStarter creates the shell, but it still takes developer to add the meat and potatoes. Definitely a good place to start. He definitely likes it. So thanks, Kryptonian, for that. Sky High talking about the trucks. Whole truck's going to be airbrushed with Vulcan God of Forging scenes. That would be funny.
You should just wrap it.
There you go. So Mark Spittler, he's waiting for Brian to let out let this out to the world. The activity from our whole community is unbelievable. Chris is right. So this time is history making. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, I hope I'm not like people are getting like what are he's talking about. I seriously, truly believe that this is Vulcan's doing a great job, and then on that they're going to spin this off. There's going to be other people that are going to pick up on what Vulcan did, and there's going to be other blockchains, and I mean, Prism chain. That's like, dude, that's pretty awesome. All that stuff is like, it's great, and this is a great time to be alive with the way that things are going. I mean, you can do your brick and mortars, but you can also do the internet in a whole different way, and DeFi and all that. And I'm super, super pumped, and I hope the community is too. There's so many things to look forward to in the future.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, lots of exciting things ahead. I mean, this past year has just been a challenge for a lot in DeFi, and I think what Brian and the team are doing. Wow, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. And we're going to see a touch of that. In about 2.5 weeks with Esco going live on the 15th.
Yep. 15th.
Well, yeah, but I mean, with Nick and some of the things that they're going to be talking about with Daniel's live tomorrow, and then didn't he say that he was going to do one on May 1st? When was he going to do? Were they going to do a live with Gamma and like that information? I mean, people that don't averagely understand some of this stuff about blockchains and tokens and things like that, I think they're going to get a lot out of these lives, and then they're going to be more excited about what Nick's talking about, and they're going to be excited about Seifu Go and all that, but they're going to be really excited about what Nick's got to say, I think.
Yeah, I agree. So, on the airbrush, Sky High was saying that, no cheap stuff. So no wraps. I love peanut butter. You got to do the airbrush, man. It's art. It's craftsmanship. I think it's what Sky High is getting at.
I get it. Yeah, I totally get it.
So he's also saying here, ARM and Prism are awesome. I don't use Ethereum so as much as I love it. I have to pass. So.
Yep. Today was my day to get some ARM. I'm just still trying to jump through the hoops to figure out how to do it though. So I'm gonna get in on that though.
Yeah, I wish I would have earlier. I kind of regret it a little bit, but I'm trying to stick to.
Yep.
I have this plan to try to kind of limit how far I get into different, or how far I expand my project holdings until after Vulcan goes live.
Yep. Don't get too
kind of cheated a little bit with Esgo. They kind of wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, if you get too diversified,
had to go there.
Profit, yeah.
Had to go there because there's money to be made in Esco for sure. So I love peanut butter. What do you think about all this, man? Where's your head at on this stuff?
So I bought in on day one on Uxie.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm down with Uxie. I've been pink sale on Seifu, so I've been in it since day one. I took up my initial. I've been riding profit ever since. I think my wallet's like I'm not as big as Chris's wallet, but my wallet is like the 413th largest wallet on Vulcan. So the day it launches, I'm sitting pretty. I'm ready to hit my first flex. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then I was happier to see the AMA the way it was today versus just Brian coming out and, for lack of a better word, being a cheerleader. Sometimes he's like a cheerleader to me. He like pumps us up like a pep rally, and then we have to wait for the football game. But with Nick, I think I got some information that it's like going to the concession stand. I can snack on it. You know what I'm saying? I can eat it and devour it. Right. And I'm looking forward to what's going on now because we haven't seen Nick in a long time. It's been quiet,
Yeah. I mean, I know that that Discord group, it was a ghost town. It was kind of
It was
interesting.
crickets,
I'd
right?
peek in there and just to see what's going on. I didn't have any questions or anything. I just, kind of see what's going on. And
Yeah,
it was like zero activity.
yeah. So I'm gonna put I think 5 B&B and Esco, and I'm gonna play the triangle. Do my thing, get my money out of it, and ride the waves, and just take my money. And I want to put it back in Vulcan, but if the arbitration's better, and I can swing back and forth between all three and take that profit and ride that wave, I'll do that instead.
Yeah, there's a lot to think about with that. And, I'm kind of curious to see, what is the volume going to look like that first week? So I think I overheard Dio on, it was a couple of Saturdays ago with, Prado.
Yep, I
And I
watched
think
that.
Dio was saying something like, the volatility of this whole arbitrage thing could exceed 30 days,
Yeah,
and
I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna let it ride up so I can double my initial, yank out my initial for some profit, then keep house money in. So I'm gonna do.
Mhm.
I'm a big believer in taking my money out and putting it back in something stable. Not that I don't believe in the project, but it allows me having dry powder on the side so I can jump in at a future date when I think it's more stable and I can kind of control what I'm doing, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's smart. I mean, I'm starting to get to that as a strategy. I used to be kind of a buy and hold, and I'll sell when price gets ridiculous. I'll sell and take some profit. But yeah, I'm my goals now are to get my initial
Right.
as soon as I can, and
Right.
then leverage that house money from there.
Yeah, I took an investment last year, the last bull cycle. I,
Mhm.
I, I kind of talked to Chris behind the scenes about this a little bit. I didn't give him the numbers. I told him how much. I told him how big my bag was, but I took a $40,000 investment, wrote it up to 200 something $1,000, and I wrote it all the way back down to $17,000 right now. I still believe in the project. It's going to go back up. I just
Right.
didn't know how to take profit. So that 40 grand was I saved up for a while to get that. As it rode up, I was like, look, tell my family, I got 100 grand. I got 115,000. I got 170. I got 200,000. Woo,
Yep.
I got money. And then I got 190. I got 170. I got 160. I
Yep.
got 100. I got 50. I
It'll
got
go up
30.
tomorrow.
So I'm still holding. I make rewards on it, so it's not a big deal. But I
Uh,
didn't know psychologically how to make profit when the numbers were there, and I think that's the biggest part of the community for uh, investors who don't know is you got to know how to take profit. Otherwise, you're just sitting there with really no gains, right? It's only on paper. It's unrealized gains, just like it's unrealized losses. So I think it's important. I think Chris and I talked the other day about taking your profit, and
yep.
that's
Yeah,
hard to do.
I think taking profits a little bit different in crypto because my background is commodities and forex, and
Right.
I would always go in any of my positions. I would go on swing trade mostly, and when I would go in, I'd go in on the higher time frames, and then when I would take profit, I would use lower time frames. So it's a little bit different when it comes to crypto. You're like, well, you got to look at it differently. I mean, I think everybody does. And like what Mel is saying is, I mean, it's not financial advice because I mean, no, I don't think anybody can give you financial advice ever because the dynamics are changing all the time. Someone comes out and says this is the way you do it. That's not the way you do it. That can change in a minute. You
Yep.
can't take financial advice from anybody.
Right. Right. And I'm so glad I love peanut butter. You gave that illustration because one of the things that I want to start doing in my lives is just trying to promote um, not what to think, but ways to think and how to think when it comes to
Right.
crypto, especially for new investors. So I have a question here. What non-financial advice would you offer someone that's new to crypto? And this is open to everybody, folks that are in the comment section as well as on the panel. Um, so I love peanut butter. I think, you kind of answered that without me asking the question first, but which was fine. That's fine. This is great, but it was kind of an organic thing that happened. But You know, I would ask you now. I'm asking you. So, what non-financial advice would you offer someone that's new to crypto?
So, are we saying non-financial advice like don't take what I'm saying and go with it, or like something like
Correct.
do
Just
that?
something to think about. So it's not like, you know, buy the dip kind of
Right?
thing.
No.
You know, that's not what the question is. It's, you know,
Right.
basically what have you learned in, you know, like what you just went over regarding your 40K to, you know,
Okay.
over 100K down to 17.
Um, I think the biggest thing is, and I didn't know I'd learned this until I watched a lot of Kryptonian, is your feelings don't care. You know what I'm saying? Your feelings
Mhm.
don't care about your money. And so you have to learn to tell your money what you want. And then you have from there, you have to have a goal for your money. Like I don't need a lot. My house is paid for. I'm out of debt. I'm debt free. I own my own business. You know, I'm not rich, but I don't need a lot.
Right.
So I learned not to go 40 grand deep. Now what I do is I have a budget, and every week I have the same dollar amount, and I put it in. I'm gonna say I put it in within the same 10 different projects. You
Mhm.
know, maybe seven, whichever one's down the most. I try to buy the dip, which I hate to say the dip, but I have 10 projects that I'm trying to get all the bags to a certain point. So the next bull run, they all get a certain number, and I'll take out my profits on the way up, and I'll have fiat money on the side for the next down cycle.
Excellent.
Does it make sense? What I'm saying,
Oh yeah. I'm feeling what you're
it's like,
saying.
you know,
As
if
a
I
friend
have
of mine would say, I'm smoking what you're rolling.
good because I ain't rolling tonight, but you know, but I mean, I was all in on one project, you know, with 40 grand, and so now I have 6 or 7 projects that are proven winners, and so I'm buying. I'm not buying what's broke. I'm just buying at garage sale prices. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly. You're
Yeah,
buying it on sale.
that's right. It's all on sale.
So,
There's
yeah,
nothing
that's
wrong
what I
with
was
it. You
saying
know?
earlier. I think it was on Odie's channel. You know, Safe Food was on sale then. I don't know if it still is now, but it was on sale then.
It was earlier, yeah. I missed it, but you know, but that's my thing. You know, I think if you like is when I first got into crypto, I had 29 projects I was buying in on. And I didn't have any. I didn't have any profits. I mean, it'd go up. I made $38, but I mean, woohoo, $38. You know, that's like going to McDonald's with a family of five. You know, it's not.
Right.
So I started shrinking it down. So I have like 7 or 8 projects that you know potentially if things go halfway decent, they're all gonna pump to the right number, and you know I'll hit high six or mid seven figures. You know, this next bull run, and that's not even counting my esco and my vol. You know, because the minute vol opens, I'm at 80 grand on that. You know, day one, minute one. So
Right.
I'm not even counting that.
Yep. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think Greek is responding to. I think this
Like
he's
96.
responding to the price of Seafood. So Seafood might be
Oh,
at
it's on
96
sale
cents.
then. It's on sale.
Yeah, it's still on sale because again,
96
it
cents.
is going to be at or above a dollar and 50
150.
cents within the
Yeah.
next 3 weeks. Miss Worldwide says diversify. Yeah, that is definitely something. Um, you know, those that are new to the game
Yeah.
would need to consider.
Just don't over diversify.
Yeah, I had over diversified. I
Me
was all
too.
over the place. I couldn't keep up. Like I'm having a hard time just keeping up with Vulcan and
Right.
Esco with all the changes that Brian keeps announcing after his showers and whatnot.
Yeah.
But
It's like every time I saw a new crypto video, like I gotta get that one. I get that one.
right.
And then I learned how to listen to the truth in the videos versus the hype,
Mm,
you know, because a lot we I mean, I'm not an influencer or anything, but when I do my job is to sell myself as a product to my client. And a lot of these YouTubers, and I don't think anybody in the Vulcan family is getting paid, you know, I know they're not getting paid, but they're not selling them to pump and dump like some other guys who are YouTubers. They get the token, they get pre-launch, and they pump their community, and they bolt on the community. But so I got caught up, and I lost. It's embarrassing. But I lost 20 grand in 13 seconds one night I was playing cards with the family. I had this feeling. I told my son-in-law, "Hey, let's check this number. What's going on?" Kind of weird feeling. We were sitting at this big number, and
mhm.
we by the time we pulled it out, our 17, 19 grand, whatever it was all the way down to like $350. You know, because I couldn't make it. It was the bull run. We weren't doing wrong. All of a sudden, it was like, ooh, we need to slow down and investigate. Just don't jump on the hype train.
Right. Agree. Mark Spittler is saying here, crypto is too easy to go all in. The idea of having dry powder on the side is important. It can build a good position and it could save you from a bad position. Yep.
Correct.
Agree. And Miss Worldwide is agreeing with you, Peanut Butter, on your pearls of wisdom.
Yeah. So I now try to invest in projects that pay. I call them dividends because I used to do stocks. But they're not like dividends in crypto, but everything I invest now, I'm investing in projects that pay me rewards for staking. And my goal is to live off the staking, not off like Chris Cruz. I think, haven't you said like your money's in a living trust and you're just going to like live off part of that and the rest is for your family, right?
Well, my three main portfolios and 3 crypto wallets are in revocable living trusts. But what I deal with on a day-to-day basis is like
that's different.
My money. That's what I do.
Yeah. So I had to go back up to a comment that Kryptonian made earlier about Chris. So he's talking to you, Peanut Butter, and he's saying, you need to pay attention to Chris. He knows, and we know Chris knows. So we want to ask Chris, what does he know?
Right.
And what non-financial advice would Chris offer someone that's new to crypto?
Well, actually, I'd plug one of my videos. I'm new to YouTube, and I've kept this mostly to myself and to a few people that I've known over the years. So I made a video, and I made lives, and I made one video where I thought it was extremely important, and it's about how to do your own research. I think that's the first thing that you need to do, because you can get lost in crypto, especially. My background, like I said, is it's commodities and Forex. That's where I do most of my training, and each one of them are different. I do everything in 6s. I do patterns of 6s, so I have 6 separate everything. It just rotates. And when it comes to crypto, there are so many things at the surface level that you can get so excited about, and you can be so you forget about you're actually using your own money. You're like, yeah, this is the greatest idea ever, and it's obviously going to be super successful, but you haven't even done your research, and you got to do your own research, not what. See, with YouTubers, there's a ton of them out there, and they do such good work, and they put a lot of time and effort into it, but they can be wrong, or they could be getting paid to do it, and they're not telling you the whole story. I don't think they're maliciously doing that, but you got to do your own research. And when you do your own research and it's checked off all the boxes. I mean, I'm super excited about the project list with Vulcan because I'm into all of them. My next one that I'm going into is Johnny Blockchain. I'm really excited about that one. I really want to learn about it, and I want to know about it. And when you go and you do those types of things, and for yourself, just like with politics and current events, you got to learn that information yourself. Don't depend on other people. And when you do that, and you go and you learn for yourself, and you know where you're at, you can't go into, especially crypto, other commodities and Forex, there's patterns. So, but with crypto, you can't go into crypto with a mindset that you're going to get rich quick. You just can't do it. And you don't want to do that, because if you go through and do your own research and you find a project that you really buy into, and you like the devs, you like the community, you like the mission and what they're going to do, you have to go into it long term. And I always tell people, everybody has it, accumulate and hold. You're going to create generational wealth by doing something like that. You're not going to make money in crypto buying into it and getting out. You have to focus on projects like Prism and what Kryptonian and R are working on, and Vulcan, and what Brian's doing and stuff. These are projects that if you read about them and understand them, you need to be in them for the long term. They have missions for the future as to what they want to do. If you can go back in time and say, if I would have just invested in Tesla and stuff like that, well, you missed that. But these are the future. So find the ones that the Teslas of the future and the Microsofts and Apple and stuff like that. Find those that you feel strongly about and stick with them. They will have bad days. The charts will turn on you, but you only lose when you sell. And in crypto, if you're in it, you buy in and then you're selling, you are not going to be successful. You might make a little bit of money, but that money is not going to be valuable to you and you're going to blow it. But if you've spent, like I've been in Bitcoin for more than a decade, I have no plans to sell any Bitcoin. I want to see it go farther. And that's the dedication that you need to have to these projects, I feel. But I don't mean to take up all your time, Miller.
Oh no. This is exactly what I want to get out of this. I mean, this is the conversation I think we need to have, because I have another question coming up and it's going to tie together, but I want to get to some of the comments.
Hey, Chris.
Before doing so.
Sorry. Hey, Chris, how old are you, man?
54.
Okay, we're the same age.
Oh,
Like, I'm 54. Yeah. I just don't have as much gray hair as you yet.
yeah. You'll get there. Look at my forehead. It's getting bigger as I'm speaking.
Yeah,
I can seriously look at it.
Yeah. I want to interrupt because, like, I talk to my clients. I say I own a salon. I do hair for a living. And I got older clients. They always come in and they go, "How's your crypto doing today, Terry?"
Mhm.
They heard about FTX and stuff. But those same clients can tell me back in the day, not when Chris Cruz and I had checkbooks, but maybe our fathers, our grandparents had it. They used to get 17% interest from the bank on checking accounts. And that's how this lady used to take her kids on vacation. And so I'm telling her, I'm making my 15% interest on most of mine. How you get 15% interest? You're crazy. I'm like, well, you just told me you used to get 17% from the bank. So I'm looking for projects outside of Vulcan. I put a lot of money in Vulcan. Like, that pays me the interest, and people can't believe you're making interest. And I have this one client, he's the department head of a college for theater. And after FTX had kind of collapsed and done this thing, he came in and says, how's your Bitcoin doing, Terry? And I don't own Bitcoin, but to the uneducated, they think it's all Bitcoin. And I said, well, how's your 401k doing? He goes, shut up. I got to work 3 more years before I retire. I said, okay, see, the market's down. Now we go forward.
Yeah.
We have to learn, just like investing in traditional stocks, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, but you get higher lows and higher highs. And so it's a long play, like Chris was saying. It's not get rich quick. If you want that, just go to the casino with the Greek and bet on black on the roulette table or something,
Yeah, and Sky High kind of talks to that. Get rich quick protocols are pumps, and creator devs are dumping free tokens, taking your money. Super risky.
Yeah, because they get rich, but we don't.
Right. Exactly.
Sorry.
And Prism Chain made a comment, I think. Let's see. Oops. Yep. Arbitrum is one of the hottest chains. Loads of people flocking to it at the moment. It's doing more transactions than ETH on some days. So yeah, I'm hearing a lot of that's going on with Arbitrum. I just haven't had a chance to take a look at it. But it's on my list. Kind of tying back to the question.
Yep.
This is something that I've done here recent. And when I say recent, I'm talking within the past, for me, recent, like the past 5 years or so. And that's learning about the current monetary system, fiat.
Yep.
Then cryptocurrency will make so much sense. Pay attention to politics, current affairs, and what the big boys are doing. Right now, we can know which coins are the future. So I couldn't agree with you more, Rob S., especially on the monetary system. Yeah. So, I've been trying to educate myself on that and my kids as well. They're not teaching that in school, as you probably know.
Stop using those dumb credit cards. Cut them up.
Yep. Agree.
Well, I mean, there's
good ways and bad ways.
This might come off weird, but there's a good way to use credit and a bad way to use
There is, yeah.
credit. And I mean, you can use credit to finance something that,
Correct.
you know, that you would work out a payment of some type. Say you borrowed something to get something, and you get paid double what you got to pay back, and you know, and
Correct.
so you know, credit cards are. I've never seen a credit card that would work that way, but you know.
But yeah, there's good credit and there's bad credit,
Mhm.
and unless your parents teach you, then first time you get a credit card, you run that sucker up. And my first pair of Nikes cost me $700-800 back in the 80s.
I got a
Probably
funny story
$9.
about
By the time I paid them
Nike.
off, it cost me like $700, and I couldn't afford them, you know. But now I know. Now I know how to use them. Though.
Well, you can live your life financially independent without using credit at all.
Yeah,
I mean, but you can, but
it's hard.
you're kind of missing the opportunity to build. Like I go back to generational wealth. You can use credit to build wealth in a responsible manner and improving your credit score and stuff like that. But you
Right.
can live your whole entire life without credit. And some people are like, I need credit to get this. No, you really don't, you know?
I think my credit score is like 827 or something like that.
Yeah, I stopped looking.
Yeah, I don't even care. I got LifeLock and
You're
I get
good.
notified if anything my name goes on anything because it's easy for me. I don't get stuff. So if something LifeLock is like, hey, did you do this? No.
Nope.
Miss Worldwide giving you a hard time, peanut butter.
My name is Terry. Yes, my real name, IRL, as my daughter says. In real life, my name is Terry. You can call me whatever you want. I
You're
don't care.
saying, Mellow Fella, you're providing such a great thing. If we can keep these younger investors from getting killed, they will support the future for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's even young investors for sure, but definitely investors in our generation as well. I think. I mean, there's a lot of folks. I hear a lot of people concerned about their 401k. Um, and I learned something. I'm still doing some research on this. Need to confirm this, but when those, I think it was Silicon Valley Bank, and there was a couple other banks that had failed. Um, the whole thing about how much would be covered. How much would the FDIC cover? Right? I think it was. Is it like 250K or something around that amount?
At one bank, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, at one bank. I need to go back and validate this. Now, don't take what I'm about to say about 401ks to be, the truth. But I was informed that there is a limit on the amount in your 401k that is covered in insurance. And if the bank or the institution that holds your 401k runs into a situation, then you could be at some significant losses depending on where you are in
Right.
your 401k.
Yep. My buddy has his secondary Roth. I think is his Roth. That's where he has his Bitcoin, his Ethereum. You know, so all these folks think the crypto is crazy. Why are fake? But you can put your Bitcoin right into an IRA or a Roth. I think my buddy's done it.
Mhm.
If you own the Mona Lisa, you can stick that sucker into your IRA as well. It's an asset.
Yeah, but I mean, but these are not things that a lot of people are aware of,
Right.
and they kind of learn it the hard way.
Mhm.
When there's some sort of tragedy or something occurs like what is starting to happen in the banking system,
Right.
people need to start paying attention,
Well,
right?
yeah, it's like crypto, right? Do your own research. When you start as a young person, get your first check. Well, who uses checks anymore? But I mean, your first checking account or first savings account, your first CD, your first whatever. Who told you about it? Your friend, maybe, but probably the bank. So the bank took your money, they put it in their storehouse. They gave you what less than 1% on your money. Then they're out there making 20, 50% on it because they told you how to give your money away. So
Mhm.
in crypto, it's so important to learn because we are basically our own bank, right? Not your keys, not your crypto. Everybody says that.
Yep.
So if you learn how to store your own money, then the banks become secondary or obsolete in some cases.
Correct.
You have other questions? I'm sorry, man. I babbled. I apologize.
No. That's fine. I mean, that's what I want this show to be about. So yeah, we can have open conversation on these topics. So I was going to pull up. You know what? I think I'm going to save this for. I'm going to save this for next show. Because I think we probably talk at length about this one. But yeah, I do want to make sure that when I'm doing these lives and we're just having a relaxed conversation and talk about things that we've learned that we can share. Again, that's not financial advice, because we don't want to give anyone financial advice, because we are not financial advisors, right?
Mm-mm.
I'm a hairdresser.
Yeah. You're a
Don't
hairdresser.
listen to me. I know nothing. I know
I'm
nothing.
an IT DevOps guy. And Chris Cruz is just the awesome Chris Cruz. I'll just leave it at that.
I talk to people on YouTube like I talk to my kids. So if don't take my advice, you're gonna have to live your own life. But this is just advice that hopefully makes your life better. And if you don't, do your own research, definitely you have to make up your own mind about everything.
Yeah.
But back in my day, and what I've been working on for years is land. That's about the only way that you could do anything to guarantee that you kept your wealth, or you could keep your money out of the bank by buying land, because it's always appreciating. And I think now with land is a really good thing. I think land is great for everybody. It's good. Again, it's no, but don't go out and buy land if you can't afford it. And, but now with crypto and DeFi, you got other avenues to do that. So I can see how people's mindset can change. And in the future, I hope I get to see it. It's going to be pretty awesome for people.
Yep. They say that God's not making any more dirt, right?
Right. And I'm a huge fan of real estate. I just I've encouraged my daughter's looking into real estate, or being a realtor and stuff like that. And I'm a big fan of real estate, because I do believe that it brings you back to earth. If you own earth, it seems like a lot of things change in your life. And you can also take the money that you've earned and you've saved, and you can put it into something that's just not going to be, you can put your hands on it. You can hold it. You can pass it on. You can do so much with it, as opposed to getting, all the fancy things like the Ferraris and the Lamborghinis and stuff. Those things are all fun. Don't get me wrong, but your Lamborghini is eventually going to stop running. But,
yeah, and the windshield's like $4,800 to replace it too.
Yeah. So I mean that's how I grew up. It was you keep your wealth, you put it into land and your home and stuff.
I grew up small town, like 4,000 people. My aunt grew up in and still lives in a small town, 300 people. So my cousin went to high school with the kid that every year for his birthday, since like pre-K all the way through, his mom and dad gave him a milking cow. Every year, he got a milking cow for every holiday. Got a milking cow, so he always felt cheated. By the time that sucker graduated high school, he was a millionaire.
Wow!
Because one milking cow, a good milking cow, will produce one truck. Those trucks on the highway, those semis, one cow does one truck a year. By the time he graduated high school, he had a herd of milking cows.
Yeah,
never had to work again except for working his cows. But he never had to work by the time he graduated high school, because all the gifts that were cows. So we buy something that you can't replace. Isn't Kryptonian doing fractional real estate on a project he's working on?
That was my understanding. Is that he and NR Legends NFT project, right?
He is. I'm telling you, you understand what I'm saying? Is like they'll go about projects. They'll tell me about projects, and I swear I'm like, man, wait a minute, aren't you doing the other one and everything?
You got too many ideas,
Prism,
right?
Yeah. That Prism, if you look into the details of Prism, I just can't believe layer zero blockchain. This is phenomenal. This is phenomenal what these guys are.
Right?
Huh?
No bridges needed. Just
They
they all
are,
communicate.
yeah. It's
Blew
just,
my mind last night. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I'm a fan. So
Me
just
too.
understand that. And I have, don't take my advice, all the financial statements that you say out there. I am a fan, so I am very biased. But do your research, check it out. You will not be disappointed because it knocks it out of the park. I'm so. And Kryptonian will be, him and I will be goofing off, and our legend and I will be goofing off about the moon and stuff like that. But these guys are super smart, and it makes me so happy for the future, because when I say about when I was younger, it's like buying land and stuff, and it's like you that's what we had back then. Now you have that, but you also have this incredible universe of this crypto, where you have good quality people creating good quality products for
Everybody.
the average person. I can't overstate how fun it is and how exciting it's going to be. These are the future, and like Vulcan is very I'm excited about Vulcan. I think the community is going to be so happy. I think I hope
Yes. Yeah, me too.
I'm supporting the community, and I hope they're great. But I mean, there are other things out there, and that's why I love Prism, because it's like they're even doing even more innovation than I thought. So it's like, these are all exciting times, and I get excited about
I
it.
do this every day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do.
There's so much going on, but yeah, I am definitely interested in Kryptonian and NR's NFT project. And Chris, I think Prism Chain, who's ever running that account, made a couple of comments. One was about ARM. So ARM isn't on Ethereum; it's on
No,
Arbitrum.
it is not on Ethereum.
Okay,
Yeah.
and I think this is what they were looking for you to confirm that.
Yes. I can confirm that. I've done the details on all that. I've done all the research on it and everything like that, and I can confidently answer reasonable questions about it. Plus, I'm interested because these guys are great. Every one of them, the developers. I mean,
High quality, right?
yeah, the good people, and
Quality people.
and I'm full disclosure, I'm an investor in ARM. I am in it, and I'm very satisfied. I'm excited for the future, and it's great stuff. It's great stuff. And the great thing about when I tell people to do their own research, and by the way, Biz, if you want to put my link up to my video, so maybe I
Please
can
do.
get some people or whatever to watch it. I
Please do.
think that I want that video to be the most watched video of all time, because of the fact that you do your own research. And when I do my own research, I get so excited about projects that hit all the check box. I can check off the boxes that I like. And then on top of that, I know these people, and the same thing with Vulcan. I know these people. I talk to them. It's super exciting. I'm just a big fan, and do your own research and don't take my advice.
And speaking of the man,
What's up, fellas?
the
Hey,
legend,
guys.
What's up, guys?
Kryptonian is here with us. What's going on, man?
Hey, I wasn't supposed to jump on a live tonight. I was telling Chris, my wife said she would slap me because I've been spending way too much time with the fellas all week. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
I mean, Pinot, last night, man, we're on forever, right? Backstage, just and Mel, I think I was just on the other day with you, and then of course Chris. Me and Chris are actually in the same building right now. Not everybody knows that. I'm just joking. No, but it seems like we're always on stage together. But no, I appreciate all the other comments, guys. That I saw something. I think I saw somebody make a comment about ARM.
They did
And-
this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yes. What's up, Sky? He's talking about wrapped Ethereum. He's talking about Ethereum, and so ARM is not on the Ethereum chain. It's actually on Arbitrum. So if you look at Arbitrum, you do, and remember, we're talking about the guys. There's you got to get out of the bubble. There isn't just Ethereum. There isn't just Binance. There isn't just Bitcoin. There's tons of chains out there, and Arbitrum is actually on a daily. They do more transactions than Ethereum themselves, and the transaction fees are super low, a lot cheaper than Ethereum, which is why we chose Arbitrum for the ARM token. So just for clarity, ARM is not on Ethereum. I mean, yeah, in order to get to Arbitrum, you'll need to swap for Ethereum to Arbitrum, right? You get wrapped Ethereum, right? And I think about, if you know anything about buying crypto, and I'm talking about Ethereum, you got to look at the traffic. You don't want to be buying peak hours. You know what I mean? It's all about gas fees, right?
Right.
Where the most traffic is where you can get the highest transaction fees. There's a lot of tools out there to help minimize those fees. So you're not spending $25 to buy $5 of something. You know what I mean? Worth of transactions. But yeah, so just for clarity, ARM isn't. This is what this TCL throwing this in there. ARM isn't on Ethereum. It's on the Arbitrum and ARB. ARM has cheaper fees. Some are ARB. Arbitrum has cheaper fees than Binance. You just buy ETH from a provider or exchange and swap it for ARM. It's super simple. If you're trying to buy Ethereum, oh gosh, I mean, it's just it depends on where you buy it. If you go to our Discord, go to our the Prism Chain Discord, there's a lot of tools in there to show you how to actually buy Ethereum, buy a Ethereum. I actually buy it from a couple places. You heard in our talk about it, I believe last night. He goes to KuCoin. I do the same thing. I get my Ethereum from my Trust Wallet, MetaMask. I buy it all over the place, but I've got enough Ethereum laying around because I've been buying, obviously I've been buying crypto for a long. I mean, I'm just as long as Chris here as far as Bitcoin. I've been holding it as long as he has. Well, he's been holding a lot longer, but I've been a maxi as long as he has, I think.
Well, only because I'm older.
Yeah, only because you're older, right? And he didn't know how to spend it. That's the difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the full disclosure, I held Bitcoin when I was young and dumb, but I didn't know how to spend it. So
he's like, if I can't buy a keyboard with it to play StarCraft, I'm not selling it.
World of Warcraft, bro.
Oh, I'm sorry, World of Warcraft.
Correction.
You remember StarCraft? I remember that game.
Oh, I played StarCraft.
I played both of those.
I'm just making sure you paid attention, man. Let's make sure. So hey guys, you guys have any? I like the conversations you guys are having tonight, Mela. I like how you asked that question. What's the non-financial advice, right? That's a good question, man. And because everybody says that all the time, right? Hey, not financial advice, but go do this. If I were you, I would do this. And to me, that's, I mean, at the end of the day, people, if you've got people lining up, jumping in a chat or jumping on a live to hear you talk, they're probably taking some of your advice at the end of the day, or whether you like it or not. So you got to tread lightly. I like to say you want to walk quietly with a big stick, right?
Walking tall. And
I like the story and just walking tall, right? I like the story that you gave Peanut Butter there about your experience. 40K down to pennies, right? Down to peanuts, as I like to is an analogy, right?
Yeah.
And that's why you love peanut butter, right?
Yep.
But the question is, why didn't you sell? Why didn't you take profit? And it's super important that people take profit. I mean, as far back as Seifu, I got in. I didn't get in pre-sale. I wish I did, but I didn't. I was about a week out. But I still made some massive profits, and I didn't go in as deep as I could have. But I made some profits. I made enough, pay some debt off, and to buy a node and have a little bit to sacrifice. So I'm happy where I'm at, as far as the Vulcan project right now. I'm waiting for Gamma like everybody else and everything. But now we've got these other projects, right? We've got SGO and Seifu. You got the arbitrage trading. So for me, I'm not a trader. I'll lose my ass on something like that. I don't have time. You got to be able to see the patterns and play the game. And that's why Chris does so well at stuff like that, because he comes from trading fiat and commodities. You know how hard that shit is to make a dollar? That's hard, man. And we had a great conversation last night. Chris, I felt like I was very honored to have just a few moments of his time, because he kind of just pointed in some areas where I need to go look into and do my own research. Exactly what he was telling you right now, guys, about doing your own research. It's exactly what he told me backstage. No special treatment. He shot me real. He shot it to me straight. And I'm like, damn, I got some work to do. But I see, and I went in, I was diving in there today, Chris. I was looking, man, I spent probably too much time in one of those sites you sent me at. But I'm going to tell you, I'm looking at that stuff, and all the things that what's amazing about it is you didn't tell me how to do it or what to do. You said, this is what you did. And I had to kind of figure it out. And I'll say this, I know it works for him. So that gave me the confidence to go in there and do my own research. Mm-hmm. And I think had I been in forex trading commodities, I think I'd be a hell of a trader in crypto, because it's really the same. I mean, the volatility is obviously a lot more crazier with crypto, right? Mm-hmm. But but it's just, but there's still people in both camps. It's still a people thing, man. It's still emotions, people selling and buying on emotions. And with crypto, it's all over the place. But I just wish I was more well equipped, before I got into degening. I've been a long time. I just hope I buy Bitcoin. I hold it. Everybody knows I'm buying it since 2012. Daily, buying it every Friday. Every other paycheck, however I wanted to do it. My first big degen play was Safe Moon, and I lost my ass on that one.
That's not.
I did what you
my
did
issue
there,
is that I think that people. I think that I try to tell Kryptonian, I'll give you the recipe card, but you can read the recipe card, but if you don't read the recipe card, learn it, understand it yourself, you might not make the same thing I would make. So you have to do that with all kinds of, anytime you're using your money, whether it's in crypto, any kind of financial anything, you can't just let your money leave your pocket. Because you think about, if you actually thought about when you're going out to eat, you're spending different money, how much you have to work for that. And the mindset is that people receive their money, they get their money, and then they spend it, and they go out and they use it and everything like that. The mindset has to change to what the money that you receive for your future and family, and just to have a quality of life. You have to turn that money you receive into money that pays you. And that's what's really important. And that's why you have to do your own research, no matter what I say or anybody else says, because what ends up happening is, if you think that my direction is good, but you just listen to what I'm saying and you don't think anything on your own, when I'm not there, in the future, if I'm not there to help you, you won't be able to make an informed decision, and you could lose everything. So I can tell you what I did, and I can give you a recipe card, but you got to figure it out on your own, because like Kryptonian always says, nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to help you. And same thing with me. I would love to help you. I would love to help everybody. I want to see everybody I know super rich. I want to go to Daniel Prado's and Miss Worldwide's house in my helicopter, land in their yard next to their helicopter, all that kind of stuff. But in the real world, none of those things may ever happen. And if you don't take personal responsibility for learning these things from people that have done it, don't do it from, anybody, you're never going to get out of it. And you need to get the money you get now, you need to turn it into money that pays you. And you don't end up having to work, and you can pass it on to generations. But I apologize, Mela.
No, you don't have to apologize. This is Chris. This is what I want. This is the conversation I want to have. And the reason why I want to have this kind of conversation is, as people start getting into Vulcan or getting into SGO, and they're not familiar with this community, they haven't done their research.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be future fudders, right? Because they're going to buy high, and then when they see the dip that occurs as we play the arbitrage game, they're not going to know what's going on, and then they're going to go to CoinMarketCap and put all this FUD out in CoinMarketCap. They're going to do it on Twitter. They're going to do it in all the socials. And what I'm trying to do is create a space where we can have an open conversation, so people can understand, it's more than just clicking that buy button. Right. You have to do your own research. You need to understand what it is that you have.
And even on top of that from what you're saying and all that you're talking about is excellent information. But where I'm at now is, I see these wonderful people in these communities, these average everyday people, and I'm thinking, somebody has to get out here, do the thing that you're talking about, Mela, the information you have. And like the very next thing that what I was talking about, and what my plan would be, is, I don't know how to get it out to people, but the next thing, first off, do your own research. I can't beat it into your head enough. You got to do your own research. I can give you recipes, but you gotta make the cookies. You gotta do it yourself. I can give you the recipe, but you got to bake the cake, and you got to be able to bake the cake and the cookies, whatever, without me or anybody else, a mentor or anything like that. You grab what you can, learn the recipe, and you move into the future. But the next thing, and I don't know how to stress this any more than I possibly can. When Vulcan launches, when Prism, when all these great projects launch, you have to learn how to protect it. And that's why I push and push for people to get a living trust. Learn what you can about trust. You have to protect your money for your family and for your future. And all I'm saying is I hope that these projects just make everybody millionaires. But if you don't know how to control it and understand it, you are going to lose it. You're going to lose it, and you'll make bad decisions on emotion and stuff like that. But I mean that's the thing. I think what Mel is trying to do, and it's super super important. It may be even more important than Gamma and all that, because you know they're going to launch the Vulcan blockchain.
Mhm.
You
Yep.
know that you're going to make money on your flexes and stuff, and you're going to build yourself some wealth. Well, what are you going to do with that? Start planning now.
Right.
Now is the time for you to plan for this. This is your future. This is your family. You can be passing money down 5 generations.
Yep.
And you if you don't focus on these things now's the time to do it. Not yesterday, not next week. Now is the time to do it. Don't take any advice from me. Go figure it out. Just take a couple of buzzwords and go.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you are just speaking just more and more pearls of wisdom, Chris, and I love having you on, and I appreciate you being open to share this with us, because a lot of people need to hear this. I mean, I need to hear it. I've got family members that need to hear it. Got friends that need to hear it. There's folks on this
Right.
that's hopefully watching the channel that need to hear it. And I got into crypto because I don't recall exactly what happened, but I was doing some research on something, and I was looking over some of my retirement accounts, and I'm like, you know what? I feel like I could be making a lot more money than this. Something just doesn't feel right about this. And then I started researching into the fact that, hey, I could actually do some of these things myself and take ownership of my finances and put myself and my family in a better position. I just need to get on the path to start doing that,
Yep.
and
So
make it a religion, if you will. You know what I mean?
have you guys read the book? A couple books that helped me. It was like Automatic Millionaire. Have you heard that book?
I have not heard of that.
So basically, I mean, I'm gonna give you a one sentence about the book. I mean, there's a lot in it, but basically, if you go to Starbucks once a day or twice a day, and when you're young, say 19 or 20, you take that Starbucks price once a week and put it in your retirement account. By the time you retire, you're a millionaire automatically.
Mm.
So everybody has money. Everybody, if you can afford cigarettes or a Coke or a Dr. Pepper, you can afford one of these bad boys that cost what, $1,000.
Right.
You can afford to put $10 a week up. Like my clients and I talking, they go, how much you putting up a week, Terry? I'm like, well, I don't have the bills you have, so I'm doing this. I'm like, dang, you put that much up every week? I'm like, I do, but I got friends put up 10 times that up. And the other one is like the millionaire next door, You can live like a real person and not flaunt your wealth, so you can keep your wealth.
Yeah, and that's kind of the point I was trying to make the other night when we talked about raising children and all that stuff. Is I'm teaching my kids, you're going to go buy a cup of coffee every day. That's the same principles that I've been teaching them, because I wasn't taught that until no one taught me. My dad talked about it, but he didn't really teach me. I'm the first in my family to start a business and to get out, to think outside of the box.
Yeah, me too.
And the funny thing is, even until I've had my own business for the last 20 years, just 20 years, and my family still thinks this is a side job.
Yeah.
They still think they're still telling me stuff like, "Hey man, so you got that side thing going, until you get that real job." I'm like, "What the hell are you talking
when you
about,
grow
man?"
up, you'll get a real job, right?
Yeah.
I've
That's
done
the funniest thing to me, man.
I've run my own business 15 years. So.
And Yeah. And I think that's why we mesh well, man. That's why we can all up here and get and go. I know Mel is in IT. He knows my world, man. And I mean, 100%. So, but at the end of the day, yeah, you're speaking facts there, Peanut Butter. It's all about one of my favorite books. So many I've read, but one that actually changed I think my whole the way I think the way I see myself, right? And as far as, because for me to go out there and sell my services and kind of like what you talked about earlier, you're out there selling yourself to these clients, and the hope is you get them to come back and you get this good connection, and now you've got a client hopefully for life, and then they're bringing their kids. And here's an interesting story. I met a barber. As a man, it's hard to find a barber, here they're all over the place. But to find a good one,
Good one, yeah.
a good one. And I met him probably 6-7 years ago. He was 22 years old, and the guy was good. Every time I just found this little hole in the wall barbershop, he was leasing one of the chairs there, and he was the only guy that would have a line that people would actually like make appointments with. Everyone, there's probably 6 other chairs in there. He was the only one. And he would just kind of say, man, what do you do, Kryptonian? It's like, well, I have a little IT company. He's like, oh, man, when did you start doing that? And I just kind of started telling him, why are you asking me these questions? I mean, you want to be in IT? He goes, no, I want to start my own shop. And I'm like, do it. That's it right there. Do it. And for about a good 6 months to a year, I'd see him every, once or twice a month. And I'll never forget this. It was probably at the end of that year, he goes, he sent me a text message. He goes, hey, man, I moved my chair. I'm not going to be in the same spot. I'm like, where are you going to be at? And he gave me a completely different address. I'm like, what the hell's going on? I go there, and it's his shop.
Nice.
This guy was he was so excited. And this was 6 years ago. He's making more money than he's ever made in his life. Now he has barbers that work for him.
Yep.
And he just constantly thinks to me, he's like, man, if I didn't talk to someone like you, and I'm not the only guy he's talking to obviously other guys that go in there and try to push them. But I was so excited about that because I was excited about what I do and the risks that I take, and I get I love it. I love the life that I live, and I can see that he had that fire in his eye. So anytime I meet a person and I see potential in them, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that fire doesn't go out. As long as I'm in their life, and if they allow me to speak into their life, for what it's worth, I'm going to push them, because I don't want any regrets. I don't want to be like, man, I don't want them to be like, I should have done something. And I see this guy, like I said, twice a month now. And
every 2 weeks, right?
what's
every 2 weeks?
That?
Oh,
every 2 weeks. Yeah. He's a lot more expensive, but you know what? I don't mind paying this guy. He's not only my barber, but he comes to me for all kinds of questions. He comes to me with all kinds of questions, but at the end of the day, we're friends now. And I'm sending him referrals. He's sending me referrals.
Yep.
It's all about networking. But that little story I'm talking about, one of the books that I love that a friend of mine gave me, I was like, you got to teach me to sell, man. This guy, one of my buddies, he went from a bank. Went from a teller in Amity Bank, like at age 23, to worth about $10 million by the time he was age 26, 27.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. And from a bank teller to multi-millionaire, and all he did was learn to sell. What did he sell? He was selling energy and other things. But he gave me this book, and it's called The Greatest Salesman. I don't know if you guys ever read that book.
No, but I've heard of it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, guys, go read that book. Read that book. And
The Greatest Salesman.
The Greatest Salesman. It'll change your life. It changed my life, right?
I've been blessed, like in my career. I've been around some of the most wealthiest people I've ever met. Like one customer of mine, his mother owns like down here in Texas, they're like Sloskis. I think so. But up north, there's something similar to that. And she owns the franchise, and she has thousands of stores, but they all pay her the royalties, right?
Thousands of stores. God.
But bigger than this, I have his fraternity brother from the same college. His dad was a big wig at the bank and made all the big deals to the bank. But the husband of the wife that owns the stores, he actually owns the bank. And those are the clients that gave me advice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Clients that are out there rolling 7, 8, 9, 10 figure deals. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. One of my clients' dads made the biggest oil deal in the history at one point, and he's my client. The lawyer who who went after the tobacco company, his daughter was my client. And so I got to pick brains of all these people, you know, who think different.
Yeah, you know, and there's a common
thread.
variable, common thread between everybody that, you know, and success is subjective. It depends on who you are, where you are in your life, where you are on this planet. But, you know, success to me could be different to you, right? I can be like, man, I made 100K, and that to me could be success to me. And to you, it could be like, I mean, you know, that's a cool story, bro.
Made that yesterday. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, no, right. But at the end of the day, it's not that I made 100K, it's how I made it, right? And it's what am I going to do to make 200K? Yeah, what am I going to do moving forward? And the greatest salesman changed my life. What that gave me was a confidence to go out there. I know how I interrupt everybody. I talk out loud, but I never used to be like that. Honestly, I was very introverted. Yeah. But once I realized that, as long as I'm confident in what I'm talking about, as long as I'm not lying to nobody, you know, I mean, I can stand on my word. I'll talk all day about it, right? But yeah, that book gave me confidence. And then the other one that's kind of been the thread that in my life, I think, is Think and Grow Rich. I love that book.
Yeah,
you guys haven't read that.
That's one of my favorites right there.
Yeah, Napoleon Hill. Yeah. Oh my God, man, that guy. I mean, you know,
I read the book Daymaker. Yeah,
Napoleon Hill.
It's about the hairdresser who was closing shop, and lady came in dressed to nines up in New York. I think it was in New York, and she was so lonely and depressed. She was coming in to get her hair done so she could go home and take her own life. Ooh. This hairdresser was closing shop. He opened the shop back up, and he brought her in, sat her down, and did the whole thing like it was his mama. And basically, he saved her life by making someone's day. Like you were saying, Kryptonian, you spoke truth into that barber. You made his day. You helped him as much as he helps you. So I always look forward to being able to speak truth or even invest in other people so then they can do the same thing. So my community of influence then can be bigger so we can help each other. You know, it's all connected, you know?
Yeah. You know, I'm a big proponent of paying it forward.
Yeah.
You know,
someone help me get where I'm at, you know? I
think it's a Texas thing, man. Everybody else is just cheap and rude, but Texas, man, we got that Southern hospitality. You know what I mean? I'm just kidding, guys.
Well, man, I was fortunate.
Melo's up in Texas, so he knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I don't know about those.
We're nice guys here.
Yeah, I just was fortunate early in my career. And I was a fast food manager before I was a stylist, but I got all my business classes that you take in college by going to management classes in fast food. And then I learned customer service there, which everything I do is customer service. But when I got in the hair business, I was able to sit with the industry leaders, I mean, super leaders who own companies, because the salon I started at was such a high salon that the baseball players and those guys would come. So we had ends with brands. I could go sit and be trained by the best craftsmen in my profession at the time, which, you know, it changes. Like, you know, I was a blue jean t-shirt and tennis shoe kind of guy, and I had to start buying name brand clothes to work in, you know, I couldn't afford them at first, but it changed your life. Like when you get around, I hate to say you get around money, but when you get around money and you see how people are the same person you are, like you guys remember who Bobby Valentine was?
Yeah.
He was the manager of the Rangers, right?
Right.
Yeah.
His family used to come to my first salon. Gino Petrali's family came to my original salon. The big car dealers came to my salon. But when Bobby Valentine rented like a 115-foot yacht and took his wife on an anniversary cruise, he was talking to all of us at the shop like we all could afford the same thing because he's a real person. He just had to make more money than the rest of us. And listen to him talk about finances and you know, like Darren Oliver and all these guys back in the day that played baseball at the Rangers, they'd all come in and talk finances because they knew that their money wouldn't last if they didn't tell it how to behave.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what Chris was saying. And one thing you said about, you know, being around people with money, I think there's a little bit more to it than that because, you know, there's some people that have money that don't know how to manage it. I think it's a mindset. Right. You are around people with the right mindset.
Correct. Yeah.
And there are people with no money that know how to manage it. So, I mean, that's the key is that I think the big picture, and I hope that this is what Mel's intention is here
Sorry, yeah.
is to educate people on the fact that you need to change your mindset from going to make money
Mm-hmm.
to the point where you're gonna have your money make money for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you can do that if you're smart about it. And I know rich people that are bad, that
Right.
can't manage their money. And I know poor people that are going to be rich one day because
Right.
they can manage their money, and they're going to continue those habits.
Right.
And I think that's what Mel is trying to do, is say, hey, start paying attention to the details, guys. This blockchain, everything, it's going to happen. This is going to happen. People are going to, I hope everybody's rich. I hope everybody dies in their sleep peacefully and everything's fine and there's no problems ever in the world. And I hope everybody's rich. Those are my goals in life. And if this blockchain is going to put people in positions where they're going to have to make some tough decisions, and if you haven't researched and understood it beforehand, you're going to lose it all.
Have you guys listened to Shaq talk about money?
Yeah, that it's his money, not his kid's money. Yeah.
Well, even before that, like when he first became a big star, right? He was out spending money, and his accountant said, "Look, dude, you keep doing money like this, you're gonna be broke." And Shaq said, "I'm rich." He goes, "Yeah, you're rich, but the guy who writes your paycheck, he's wealthy." And Shaq said, "What's the difference?" He says, "Rich goes broke, wealthy stays forever." And so Shaq went back to college and got his master's degree in finances and paid for his friends to go get it too.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good stuff right there, man.
Smart move. So I'm gonna get ready to wrap up, but there's a couple of comments that I wanted to get to. First is Rob S. Presented us some breaking news that Binance had backed out of buying Voyager. So it looks like CZ is blaming the uncertainty of regulations in the U.S. On crypto. So, any of you folks that had assets in Voyager, like I'm one of them, and I'm in Texas, so Binance isn't legal in Texas. So although Voyager wants to get me my money, and I thought I would be getting it through Binance, looks like that's definitely not going to happen anytime soon. So interesting times.
Yep.
Let's see. Yeah, Miss Worldwide was commenting that she listened to Shaq talk about money.
He's smart, man. He owns he's like $600 or $700 million net worth. He owns license agreements for Elvis, Marilyn Monroe. He owns the holding share of all these big companies.
Yeah, and I know he's got some franchises also. He's got his hand in that. So he's got a lot going on. But Jim Oval says he's got screwed on Voyager too. So yeah, gold in these crypto streets. You got to do your own research. Be careful what you're getting yourself into.
Stay on top of it.
Yep. So I love peanut butter, man. It was a pleasure having you on the show tonight, man. And I wish you well on your YouTube channel. I know you're going to do a fantastic job. And since you're local, man, I got to invite you to the bar. Drinks on me for sure.
So we'll talk in the behind the scenes, man. For sure.
Cool.
You're what 25 minutes down the street, right?
Yeah, I shouldn't be too far from you. So yeah, we could definitely get together.
I'm just downtown Fort Worth, basically.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so we could definitely hook up.
That'd be cool, man.
You city boys, man. I don't know about you guys, man.
Hey, man. Hey, my Glock still works in the city, brother.
There you go. So, Kryptonian, you got any pearls of wisdom before we close out tonight?
No, there's nothing I can measure up to what Chris has been dropping and peanut butter, and even yourself, man. I appreciate the invite. My wife gave me 30 minutes. I'm 5 minutes over, so I'm about to get slapped. Ooh. But I just wanted to. The reason I jumped on because I just felt a disturbance in the force. Chris was talking about me, so I had to jump on here. But guys, I appreciate you guys.
Tell about Wednesday before you leave.
Oh yeah, Wednesday tomorrow. That's where the real talk is. Whatever. We're gonna talk about everything. I'm gonna bring receipts this time. We're gonna talk about everything. Anything crypto. It's gonna be a fun night. Chris knows. Everyone's invited. If you can't join, you can please definitely join us in the comments. And as far as Prism is concerned, you can find us at prismchain.io. And just to clarify, Arbitrimium is not on Ethereum. It's on Arbitrum. You don't need to buy Ethereum to buy ARM. You can buy actually ARETH or ETH without even buying Ethereum. It's super cheap. So I just want to get that out there. I don't want people to think that you have to go through Ethereum. So, but other than that, guys, I appreciate the invite, and as always, I love the conversations. Every time I listen to you guys, I always learn something, man. And so the feeling is definitely mutual here. And with all that being said, guys, do right and fear no man, right? Inspect what you expect, and I'll see you guys on the blockchain, right?
Appreciate you, Kryptonian. Chris
Yeah.
Cruz, how about you, sir?
I'm super excited about the direction that your channel is going. I'm a big fan of yours and your videos that you put out throughout the week. And I wish nothing but the best for you. I hope you're extremely successful, because I think you're doing good for everybody, all walks of life, new investors and longtime investors. And like I always say, man, just accumulate and hold on everything that you get.
Love it. Love it. Yep. Hey, I appreciate it. And I appreciate all you guys, for those of you who are out in the comments and interacting with us. I never thought that I would be doing YouTube at all. And definitely never thought I'd be doing live and showing my face and all that fun stuff. But it's been a good experience, and I'm enjoying it. And I like to use this as a platform to give back. Kind of like what Kryptonian is saying, paying it forward. It's been a lot of help that I've had along my path to get to where I am, and I'm not where I want to be just yet. I'm getting really, really close, but I like to be able to share and help others get there too. So I'm gonna use this as a platform to do that. So, again, I would ask, if you weren't here when I opened, we're going to do this again next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Central. And I would ask, bring someone, if you know someone that is interested in crypto, but maybe hesitant because they feel like, it's a little too much, or maybe they've been in a community that was a little off-putting. I want to make this an open space for us to have open communication, and for everyone from all walks of life, because crypto is for everybody. And I really believe that it's going to open some doors and present some opportunities, not just Vulcan, but definitely Vulcan, for us to take our financial futures to the next level. So I'm going to end with that. I appreciate you all again. And, if you don't mind, I would love it if you would, after the end of this video, like it, share it. If you're not a subscriber, I appreciate you considering subscribing to my channel, and do the same for I Love Peanut Butter, Chris Cruz, and Kryptonian. Till next time, Mellow Fellas out. Y'all take care.
Laters.